Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, I'm Chioma and it has been a while, but I was taking some time to meditate. Think of it as a sabbatical to realign myself and ground myself in purpose, okay, as to why I actually want to continue pursuing this channel and what I want to talk about, which brings me to the topic at hand today, right? When it comes to growing and maturing and becoming the woman I want to be, there are some traits I feel are just essential to adopt and maintain, and that's what I want to talk about today. These traits that we can start working on so that our internal is ready for what we want to see in the external world. Okay, I have narrowed it down to 6 traits that I feel like these are the most basic. You absolutely have to have this. Every time I see a woman that might have some level of what I want in life, she has at least some of these traits, but truly, you need all of them. So, the first one is slowness and intentionality, right? You need to adopt a mindset of slowness because it provides the space and time for you to think. You're able to slow down and actually consider what will be good or beneficial for you, right? Like you're not quick. You're not in a haste, because when you're in a haste, you make mistakes. But when you slow down, you take it easy, you're intentional, you don't feel rushed. You're not ruffled easily, right? You know what you have in your head, you know what you have in your heart, you know what your purpose is. You're moving in a grounded way. You're not easily swayed, you're not easily manipulated, and you're not easily controlled, right? And that is why I feel if you want to actually progress and become this like ideal woman, you absolutely need to be more like just slow and intentional in your decision making and in your thought process, right? The second trait is independence. This one is, I don't even see how you can become that person without some level of independence, because independence is what will allow you to make these decisions and actually take control of your life. And when you take control, then you can plant seeds, you can grow, you can actually tend to your mind, you can tend to your life. But if you don't have a level of independence or control over your life, you can't determine what goes, what stays, how you move. Think about it like, okay, a big part of this is like living in your parents' house, right? So think about it. If you're living in your parents' house, you can't just wake up today and be like, oh, I want the house to be this different color themed and then change all the furniture. It's gonna be like, no, because first of all, this is not your house and you share the space with other people. So you have to consider other people. You do not have like absolute control and power over everything you're doing, and you can't make decisions that you need to make without taking into consideration other people and making all this and doing all that in a way that you might not, and it can lead to you not being able to actually achieve what you want to achieve because the other people do not agree with your decision, right? I mean, there are definitely benefits to that, but you need a level of independence. Another way to think about it is like, when we were kids and we had to have our parents on our bank account. And so whenever you would buy something, they would be like, why'd you buy this? You need to be saving, blah, blah, blah. Versus now as an adult, you can do whatever the hell you want with your money. And, that's you. And even though it's like you don't have your parents now on your head saying, don't spend your money on this, why are you buying that? You also have complete control. So it's really up to you if you're saving so you have good finances going forward, or if you have shitty finances going forward. That's up to you. And even though that's scary, that is power and control, right? Like you having to take responsibility for yourself, for your finances, for your future. That is power, and that's how you're going to be able to create the life you want for yourself, because you have the power to do that. You have the control over yourself. No longer your parents. They can't control how you're spending your money anymore. You can do that. So you can make it go up or you can make it go down. And that's, you absolutely need that responsibility, that full responsibility over yourself. Because if you give somebody else like a part of your life to be responsible for, you're also giving them power over your life in that area, right? Like, just know that every time you give off that responsibility to somebody else, that's you handing over power and control and authority over that area of your life, which is not always a bad thing, but it's something to keep in mind when you're determining how you want your life to go. Because this person that you're giving all this power and control might not necessarily want the best for you, or you think they do but then they really don't. But then you could also be lucky and they really do want the best for you, and it turns out okay. You just need to know, and you do need a level of independence to be able to create for yourself the life you want, the life you envision, right? Because it's your vision, it's your work, it's your life, so you need the control and the authority over that. So number 3 is wisdom and forethought, right? So I believe that you can achieve like some success, you can achieve some prominence through luck. I truly believe that. But I don't believe that you can scale it or maintain it without wisdom, without the ability to think ahead, to gather information, understand it, and know how and when to apply it, right? I truly believe that a woman without wisdom is already a slave to someone else, because you're going to be getting played left and right, because you either don't have the information, you don't know how to use it, you're using it wrong, you're using it at the wrong time. Other people will be able to pinpoint that, and they'll be able to play you. And all that does is delay your goals, right? They'll be able to use you to achieve their goals, to achieve what they want. And then one day you're going to look back and be like, wait, I didn't achieve anything, but everybody else was achieving their goals and using you as a tool to do it. So you absolutely have to have wisdom and the ability to think ahead for what you possibly want for your future and set yourself up that way, right? And that to me is why, like, wisdom and forethought, like, you absolutely need that. Otherwise, people are just going to use you for their own gain, for their own means, because you don't know what you want. You can't put together how to orchestrate your life to get what you want for yourself. So you're just going to end up living a life that other people orchestrate for you. And number 4, right? This one is my word of the year, and it is self-preservation. Self-preservation, as a successful, independent woman, people will be triggered. You're an affront to many people just by existing. And you will always attract predators. You will always attract people that want to take what you have, what you've built, what you've created, what you want to create. They see the skills that you're building. They want to take advantage of that. You're always going to attract those kind of people. So it is your job to protect yourself, to watch over yourself, and to make sure that you are building gates, walls, whatever is necessary to protect everything that you're building and establishing, right? So when you come across people, they might seem like, oh, they really love what you're doing, oh, they're so different to everything you do. But in reality, a lot of times people could be analyzing you, analyzing your weak spots, looking for a weak link, somewhere that they can just get in through. You must guard yourself. You must guard yourself at all times. And you have to prioritize your own safety, because other people are prioritizing their safety, meaning they're not prioritizing your safety. So if you don't prioritize your safety, you're leaving yourself unguarded and unsafe. And harm can easily or more quickly come to you that way. So you have to protect yourself for sure. And learning all the ways in which you need to protect yourself and learning how to do that is absolutely important if you're going to build anything. Because otherwise, everything you build, somebody's just going to come steal it. So all your hard work now is like for nothing, because you don't get to reap anything that you've built, that you've put into place. And I don't feel like that's fair to you. And it doesn't even make sense to work hard and create all these things, and then somebody comes and takes it all away, right? Like, that's heartbreaking. So that was number 4. Number 5 is self-acceptance. And this one is huge because if you fail to judge yourself accurately, you will be shocked by what people will be able to bring out in you, right? I feel like ideally you should be able to analyze every part of yourself, um, your good, your bad, your indifferent, the things that are like maybe, maybe people don't agree with or whatever. You should be able to analyze yourself, pick those things apart. Then you can choose what to keep. You can choose what you want to transform. You can choose what you want to reject, right? Like you should be able to do all of these things according to what serves you best, according to what will help you achieve your goal and get closer to who you want to become, right? Um, if you go around looking for others to accept you because you refuse to accept yourself for who you are, or because you refuse to do this work of analyzing yourself internally and figuring out what it is about you and what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, you leave yourself open to manipulation and control. And the truth of the matter is, even if people are not like, let's say this person is not necessarily a bad person or they don't go around looking for people to manipulate and control, if you're so easily manipulated, they're just gonna find themselves taking advantage of you because you're so easy to take advantage of. Even if they never truly intended to take advantage of you, almost anything they do will be taking advantage of you because you're just wide open. Because why? You're desperate to be accepted, you're desperate to be, I guess, loved, you're desperate to be considered, but then you're not considering yourself, you're not accepting yourself, you're not loving yourself. Like, that's just a recipe for disaster. I you absolutely have to like accept yourself. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly, to be like a powerful woman. Like, because people will constantly try to tear you down and to bring you to a lower level or to try to downplay who you are. And you have to be able to be like, nope, this is who I am. Like, I am aware, right? So that's just something to think about. And number 6 is self-trust. I feel like this is also one of the most basic. Actually, I feel like it is the most basic skill, traits, achievement, whatever you want to call it, because you must trust yourself to even know where you're going, what you're doing, what it is that you want to do. You have to trust that you know yourself best. You have to trust that you're good enough, you're capable enough to achieve the things you want to achieve. You have to trust that, like, even your dreams are worthy enough to come true. Like, you self-trust is the most basic thing you need to begin establishing, right? Like, nobody's saying it has to be at the maximum level today, but this is something you must start working on. I feel like if there's one thing you should start working on today, it is self-trust, because it will lead you to being able to establish all these other traits, right? And to attain this self-trust, like, you have to test yourself. You put yourself through difficult things, right? Like, and you see yourself work through it and come out on the other side. And that's how you know you're reliable, you can do hard things. That's how you know you're not lying to yourself about who you are. And that's how you also get to acknowledge and accept that you are the best weapon that you have. Like, you're the best weapon in your arsenal, right? And not somebody else. So, absolutely have to begin working on the self-trust. If you find that you can't trust yourself, then you need to examine why. What is preventing you from being able to trust yourself? Why do you feel like somebody you don't know, aka you don't know their true intentions, you don't know how they really feel because you're not in their mind? Why do you feel like that person is more trustworthy than you? You know you have good intentions for yourself. You know you put your best foot forward for yourself. If you don't, then start trying to do that in whatever way you feel, right? Like, in whatever way you feel called to. If your way is financial, like, okay, the way I can establish that I make the best decisions for myself is to start saving some money, then start saving some money. Even if it's just very little. Oh, $25 a week, $25 a month. And then when you watch it grow, or let's say you're paying off debt, you're paying off $100 every month. and then you watch the number dwindle, you begin to have more faith and more trust in yourself because you're doing the thing you said you would do. It could be, oh, I'm gonna make my bed every morning, right? Like, I remember when I decided to do that. And over time, even though, of course, when I first started, it was not as easy. Like, some mornings I was just like, oh, what's the big deal? Like, I used to think, like, it doesn't really matter. I'm just getting right back into it. Like, but then I started doing it. And now it's basically a habit. It's a habit to where if I don't do it, it's like, ew, like, why is your bed not made, you know? So you absolutely have to start from somewhere and build. As you build, you notice yourself change. And then when you start trusting yourself more, you will feel better about yourself. And you will also want to naturally protect yourself, right? Like with the self-preservation, because it's like if you are this good person, you're this top-notch person, somebody shouldn't be able to come in here and just treat you any type of way. You know what I mean? Somebody shouldn't be able to come in here and just take everything you worked for. So because of that, because of you trust yourself, you value yourself, you're going to naturally just start adopting some of these other traits. So that's all I have for today. I just want to come out here and speak these traits out and establish them, because these traits, until further notice, are going to be the pillars of my content, right? I want to, of course, keep talking about mindset things. To me, mindset is very important, like, because I feel like whenever I think of the person I want to become, it's more so a state of mind. Than a physical thing. Of course, the physical manifestations are also very important, because I actually, and I'm going to talk about this in a future video, like about how materialism matters for women. And it's not just about, abandon all things in the material world and be spiritual and stuff. Like, I feel like that doesn't really work when you're a woman. So of course, all these things are going to have material and physical manifestations, but I truly believe they start in the mind. And that's where you even begin to conceptualize what it is that you're talking about, you know. Because if your mind is not right, you're not even going to be able to have these ideas, these thoughts. You're not going to be able to put it together and actually even create anything. But then whenever you're able to put it together, create these thoughts, actually accept that these things are possible for you, then you can even have the mindset to work on it. You can even dare to ask for help. You can dare to speak it out loud. But a lot of times when you can't even think about it, there's no change in your life, because you're not even considering that it could actually work out for you. So I truly believe these are the most basic tenets. If you want me to further go into anything else, if you want me to further explain any of them, I would love to do that also. But I think my next video is going to be about the materialism thing, because I know a lot of people want to be like, oh, abandon everything materialist and focus on spiritual. That's not feasible for you as a woman, because it does not fall into self-preservation, right? Anyways, let me not even go into that right now. We could talk about that at a different time. I just wanted to come on here and establish these core tenets of my channel. And that's all I have for today. Bye. Mwah.